So when I write, I see the visuals. And so it's very darn close to exactly what I envisioned. So I'm pretty happy because that's the movie that I laughed about in my head before I wrote it down.
Are you seeing the edit too?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I designed the thing so I know what cuts where.
Are you putting that in the script?
Yeah. Yeah. Some people think that a lot of people think that things in Black Dynamite were that there was stuff that was on the fly. Like, no. There's probably 2% of that movie that was improv. But all the idiosyncratic moments, they're written in there because I was a child of these movies, the black exploitation stuff, and so I would grab all these crazy moments that I'd seen, and I wanted it. I wanted that Mike to just be out of the camera, but so I still have my library of reference stuff. And that stuff that made it in real movies that are funny as hell that I didn't get a chance to do. Nothing's funnier to me than real life. And there's real movies that went and got edited and approved that are hilarious to me. So that I really wanted to bring out that kind of a time to where sometimes you're seeing the behind the scenes of the movie and just like you glimpse the movie making process for a second and you go right back into the story. So because there was a movie famously that a guy did read the direction stuff in his dialogue and nobody caught it.
When you're conveying these gags to your crew. Now I had this experience on Rope a Dope too, where I wrote the script out and had sent the script out. The script had been around for a month, and the DP pulls me, and I love Drew, but he pulls me aside and he says like, Eric, I don't understand what the hell this movie's about. I don't
Mm.
understand any of the gags. I don't know what you're going for. And I said, you just gotta point the camera where I tell you to.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. And then there it was. So
Yeah.
did you have experiences like this where it was in here and you just had to get it down there before anybody understood it?
Oh, I had to spend time with every actor. I mean, I've had people like Tommy Davidson who's like, "Hey, I know comedy." I got no. It's not a comedy. The comedy is in the the dead seriousness that you're playing the character. And it's weird for me to be educating a comedian, especially somebody on the level of Tommy Davidson, but then he got it. Because I pulled him aside and I showed him my references. None of these people are playing the comedy. So that's where the comedy is, that it's so serious, you know? And so, I had to make sure people were on that same tone because I had some great comedians that are used to trying to be funny in the moment. So that's yeah.
They almost, I guess, you have to tell them, like, you have to act like this is a real script, like this is a real movie. You have to act like this is not a comedy.
Yeah, you think about this, okay? You ever see Three the Hard Way? There was a movie like the most dominant black exploitation movie at the time. They had three different black action stars: Jim Brown, Fred Williamson, and Jim Kelly. All appeared in the same movie. So this was an amazing accomplishment. And it was called Three the Hard Way. And what the movie was about is about this evil Dr. Feather who had like about 3 liters of liquid, this poison that he was going to put in the water systems of like LA, Detroit, and like Chicago, something like that, or New York, that was going to basically destroy all black people. It was going to give them all sickle cell.
Wow.
Dude, it's not a comedy.
Yeah.
It's not a freaking. You see what I'm talking about? It wasn't even a. It was not even close to being a comedy. If you look at the movie, they're dead serious, dead serious. And they had to stop this evil thwart of these people going to put that much liquid that's going to kill the black people in major cities. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm going, this should be a comedy.
Yeah.
This should be a comedy. And because at the time, in the 60s and 70s, there was a paranoia and it was like rife with this conspiratorial thing that was largely in the black community. The all omnipresent they. They gonna do this, they gonna do. So it played on that kind of a thing that I thought, this shit is hilarious, man. And then the fact that I realized that, hey, wait a minute, I grew up and everybody had the Mac posters, Superfly, Willie Dynamite. I'm going, wait, they were pimps. They were all and what's his name? Rudy Ray Moore.
Yeah, Dolomite, right?
Yeah, Dolomite. I'm going, these were pimps. And I realized, it dawned on me, our heroes were pimps. This should be a comedy. You know what I mean? And so, there I went. But those were committed, serious movies with pimps as the lead. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
That was fun. It's hilarious.
I mean, I kind of know all this, but the fact that you say the fact that you say it now, did people obviously got the joke, right? They get it when they see Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
Do they know why they get it though?
Some do, but like I say, it's all about layers. It's all about layers. But I used to have blaxploitation movie night at my house, and this guy Ben Ramsey, he used to do it as well. We would pick two blaxploitation movies and get crowds of folks, and we laugh our asses off. Quentin Tarantino was part of this crowd, and you're like mystery science theater. You're encouraged to heckle. I mean, it's just so funny. And it was like this pendulum that swung the other way, where there were movies where, before the 70s, Black people were just treated as fodder and didn't have these movies where they were heroic. And then it went overboard, because then we had a dead whitey count on some movies, right? And it's like, you go, wait a second, these guys are just killing like white people, like in the street. Like there's like what I think what I forget, Slaughter had like 61, and it's like there's no police force. It's like you can just kill the man and just step over the bodies and just pick up your chicken and go to the disco. It was just like, to me, it's just hilarious, because these were not meant to be funny. These are the fact that they're so serious made it funny. When you look back at it, you just go, oh my God. All these guys they had clubs, seemed like power of like I don't know, cop or something like that, but they were badasses. Like it was like they had a badass license, and they all had women, like a flock of women, and they could do anything. They could just shoot people in the street and just, go have coffee.
Do you think that when they watched those movies that they laughed at them?
No, no, they didn't. It's just it's actually an interesting time capsule on society that it was so overdone that it was not even strange at that time. I mean, Fred Williamson, and I was just with Fred Williamson last week. I mean, I don't think he ever looked at any of that stuff like it was a joke. There's, I think it's really interesting. But that's what so that's kind of what I drew off of with Black Dynamite, is to treat it as if, So, and I'm happy it worked.
what about your camera crew and production? Because was this the same conversation that you had to have with crew as well about?
Oh yeah, well, everybody had such a good time, because at this point we know what's funny about this whole scenario, and it's just like you're doing a movie, like you're doing a movie like the movies of like in the '70s, and when they're referring to the year 1990, there's like flying cars, you know what I mean? And it's funny to look back at those movies now, because they just got it all wrong, but they didn't know at the time.
Did you design Black Dynamite with the music in mind?
Oh yeah, very much so. I wanted to make people really feel like they were watching a movie in 1971. So even the look of the movie was shot on 16 millimeter color reversal film, and that is like that feels exactly right in the pocket of those movies that I watched as a kid.